Welcome back. So now what we need to do is that we need to work on making HTTP request and use the API service. So in order to use the API service, we need to make HTTP request or what's called a request, and then we will be able to send the message. So to do that, we need to use the C URL in PHP. So I'm going to start by using a function called CURL init. So this is going to initiate the request, and this function takes the URL of the service. So the URL of the service is HTTPS and then us dot sms dot api dot cinch dot com / xms / v1, and then the service plan ID, which is also known as the API key. So this is going to be the API key. So here you need to be careful. Here first you need to add / and then curly braces, and then in between we need to pass the API key, the API underscore key, which is this API key, and then / and then batches / and then batches / and then here batches. You need to be very careful with the spelling, because if you get this wrong, it's not gonna work. Again, that's HTTPS and then : / us dot sms dot api dot cinch dot com / xms / v1 / and then curly bracket and then API underscore key and then curly bracket and then / and then batches BATCHES. So this is the URL, and you might be wondering, where did I get this API URL from? Of course, I got it from the Cinch service API documentation, and it's there, but it's a little difficult to find it. You need to dig deep down, and you will find the URL. But if you are interested, you can head on over to the developers.cinch.com and you can take a look at the service and the information. And if you don't care about this, that's fine. The most important thing is the URL, which is this. This is the most important thing. And then we need to store this in a variable called, let's say, CURL. So CURL is going to be equal to curl or CURL underscore init, and it's usually developers usually name it CH. Usually for short, they just name it CH. This is common among developers. So let's keep it CH just for the sake of making things easy. And then what we need to do is that we need to pass many things. First of all, we need to use the authentication token or the API token. To do that, we need to use the header. So I'm going to say here CURL and then underscore set opt, and this function is going to allow us to pass options with our request. And then it takes here, the first parameter it takes is the curl init, and then the second parameter is what we want to pass. So what we want to pass is the CURL option, CURL option underscore HTTP header. So this is going to allow us to identify the header. So what is the header? The header is just a piece of data that can be used with the request, and it's hidden, by the way. You cannot see it, but it gets sent with the request. And in the header, we need to pass the token, because without the token, we will not be able to make the request and send the message. So the second parameter is going to be an array. I'm going to say here array, and this array is going to take two parameters. The first parameter is the content type. So I'm going to say content type in single brackets. I'm going to say content hyphen type, and then the content type is going to be application JSON, application / JSON. Remember, I told you that the content needs to be converted into JSON, and we have done that already. And here we need to tell, here by the way it should be application JSON, and here we need to tell it PHP, hey PHP, since this is JSON, we want you to pass we want you to pass we want you to pass the content in the with the HTTP request as JSON. So it's not only just converting the data into JSON is not enough. We need also to tell PHP that we want the content that will be sent to be JSON, application JSON. And then the second element in this array is going to be the token. So here we need to say authorization bearer and then space and then dot, and then we need to append the token API, the API token, not the API key, but the API token. This is very, very important. So we need to append the API token. That way, this token will be used in the header so that we will be able to make the request. When we make the request, the service will check both. It's going to check the API key and it's going to check the API token. If both are correct, then it's going to work. If they are wrong, then it's not gonna work. It's just not gonna work. So the service will check the API key and the API token. Of course, you need to get these from your account, and I have already shown you how to do that. So this is very, very important. You need to get them correctly in order for this to work.